Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Today I wanted to break down how much money is in the entire world economy and how much of this money can actually come into the cryptocurrency market cap. I believe that the total market cap of crypto is extremely undervalued in the big picture, and once I break down how much money is sitting in the rest of the markets across the world, it'll surely help you guys understand how much of this money can actually come into the cryptos that we're buying, investing in the big picture, and ultimately give us these massive bull runs that we're expected to see. This is going to be a point of time where we're going to see a lot of mainstream adoption inside of the crypto markets moving forward. Now more than ever, we need to position ourselves, and for today's video, I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to do it in the most profitable way. If you're new and just find this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, without wasting any time, let's get into all of the world's money visualized in an easy to understand demographic. So this is a little bit outdated. This is going to be from 2020, but it's going to give you guys a pretty good idea of how much money's still inside of the world. So keep in mind guys, coins and banknotes, market cap 6.6 trillion. This is from just a few different countries. Federal Reserve balance sheet 7 trillion. This is from 2008 to 2020. The world's billionaires, over 8 trillion. This is just the richest men in the world. The world's gold market cap, $10.9 trillion. Keep in mind, guys, that all of these are multi-times more valuable than the total market cap of crypto. The total market cap of crypto is currently $884 billion. That is significantly smaller than many of these. And that's why I want you guys to realize that when we're looking at the greater picture of how much money is actually inside of the world, there's not that much in crypto. And that's why I believe it's severely undervalued. When we're looking at crypto, we're literally looking at the dial-up days of internet, maybe even earlier than that. Ethereum sucks. I mean, at the peak of Ethereum, it was costing like $150 to $200 to send a transaction. That is just unusable. It's not possible. No one's ever going to use that stuff. And that's just the early kind of the birthing pains, the early struggles of a new market. I believe it's the exact same as what we saw with the early internet phase. And so by buying and investing now, we're getting in at the ground floor. And I can prove that to you by simply just looking at how undervalued the total market cap is, because multiple billionaires inside of the world are already valued at more than the total market cap of crypto. These are going to be things that revolutionize our entire world economy. Not only through the internet, but our entire world as a whole is going to be ultimately revolutionized through blockchain. And crypto is just one major aspect of that. It's the first aspect of blockchain that we're ever really seeing take to the spotlight. Let's look at the Fortune 500 companies. 1.3 trillion, 1.3 trillion, 1.1 trillion, 938 billion, 598 billion. These are all way bigger than the crypto total market cap. The NYSE, the NASDAQ, 89 trillion. The money supply, narrow money, 35 trillion, broad money, 95 trillion. Global debt, 253 trillion. Global real estate, $280 trillion. This is multiples over the crypto total market cap. And I'm not saying that the crypto is going to 280 trillion, because that's probably unrealistic to say. What I do believe is realistic long term is 50 to 80 trillion. I think that that's more than realistic. And if you're looking at all of the valuation of the world, it's not unrealistic to think that in the next 10 to 15 years, crypto can't take 50 to 80 trillion of the world's market cap. Global wealth, 360 trillion. Derivatives, 558 trillion. I don't think I need to go too much more into this. I think you guys get the gist of it. If we're looking at the stimulus that was printed inside of just the year of 2020, 400 billion in the bank bailout of 2019, 1.6 trillion in the bank bailout of 2020, 4 trillion in the Federal Reserve bailout of whatever they want in 2020, 2 trillion bailout, 2.3 trillion, 484 billion. This is an insane amount of money. These were just what they were printing from the Federal Reserve for stimulus. Every single one of these, except for some of these 400 billion, were all bigger than the total crypto market cap. So when we're looking at the world economy and we're looking in the terms of what we're valued at today, there is nowhere near a point in my head that I see the cryptos overvalued. I can only see that we are undervalued in the bigger picture. So with that understood, what we're looking at from a technical perspective, in my opinion, is something that's going to create massive bull runs for years to follow, is something that is ultimately leading us into a very parabolic cycle. Now keep in mind, guys, if you've been following me for a long time, what I was talking about over here was that this move was going to be a huge blow off top, and it was going to go all the way upwards of like 10 trillion, right? That was what I was talking about at the cycle top, right? So that's what I was talking to you guys about for a long time. Obviously, we didn't get that. We got our bear market, and I was proven wrong. And it caused me to do a lot of thinking about where we are in the big picture. How undervalued are we? How many more of these bull runs do we really have to go? And throughout this bear market, I've been analyzing these charts and I've been following along, and this is pretty much the conclusion that I've come to. You guys already know I've been sharing with you guys this chart for a while. I've had this drawn on this chart for a significant amount of months now, and I've been watching it for a while because, in my opinion, this tells us where we're at in the big picture market cycle. We know, based off of all of these estimates, that we are severely undervalued. Just the money they printed alone was multiple times over the crypto total market cap. Just the money they printed in 2020, not counting all of the further stimulus that we've had, because keep in mind, this is actually an outdated demographic, it is already multiple times more $1 trillion than are in the crypto total market cap. We're not even at $1 trillion total market cap. So this is all tons of money that can go into our market cap. There is nothing but growth potential inside of what we have. And in my opinion, when we're looking at cryptos as far as what they do, we are really undervalued because nothing is really used in the greater picture. Even Bitcoin, as an example, isn't used all that much. If we're going to see this stuff get mainstream adoption, in my opinion, we're going to start seeing it get a lot of this money that's kind of inside of the world economy. It's going to leave from different places. It's going to leave from the real estate market. It's going to leave from these places, and it's going to consolidate into the crypto market as well. Now, when we're looking at this, guys, one of the things I want you guys to remember is where we're at as far as our Elliott wave count. I believe that where we're at in our Elliott wave count is this wave 1, waiting for wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And if we're looking at our last cycle, in my opinion, it was small and it wasn't quite as big as 2017 because it was only our wave 1, right? This move in our wave 1 of 2016, 2017, it barely broke all-time highs. It did make new all-time highs, but it barely broke them, and then it spent about a year consolidating above them before it began that 2017 bull run. In my opinion, what we saw in our last cycle was the exact same thing. It was just a wave 1 impulse. And what we're getting ready for next is going to be a wave 3 and a wave 5. I don't want to draw these up here because we're on a log scale, and the log scale chart always makes them look a little funky. Until the market actually just goes, it will never actually look very good as far as drawing the Elliott waves. I'm just trying to show you where I believe that we are. So in the big picture, I believe our next cycle coming is going to be one that behaves much more like our 2017 alt cycle. And what we're seeing on our big picture is ultimately reflected inside of the charts as well. And I can show you guys that through the Ethereum chart. When we're looking at altcoins, we have to look at the staple altcoin to understand how much further we can move or where we're at in the cycles. Our entire first cycle for Ethereum was 2016 and 2017. This is where we saw our first set of impulse waves. Wave 1, Wave 3, and Wave 5. That was our first cycle of 2018. And if I come over here and show you guys, that's what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That was our first impulse that Ethereum ever had. That led us to our 2018 bear market, indicated by this ABC correction, A, B, C, back down to $90. And then that's where we ran up into our next cycle, right? Now, normally, after a wave 1 impulse, we would begin a wave 3, right? That's the way Elliott wave theory works. And if I pull up this diagram, that's what it means here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC is the same thing that Ethereum went through right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. It was just a one wave, right? That was the first cycle for Ethereum. It was just this little move here. Now that takes us to where we're at today. In my opinion, our entire last cycle wasn't this big picture wave 3 and wave 4. I believe it was a subwave. So a lot of people are drawing Ethereum as this. 2018 was our wave, or I should say 2016, 2017 was our wave 1. Wave 2 is 2018 bear market. Wave 3 was the move to 5K and our correction back down. And let me explain to you guys why that is not the case. Because our previous all-time high was right here, and our market structure crossed back below our previous all-time high of wave 1. That can't happen inside of a wave 3. And when we're looking at this Elliott wave chart, it shows. Notice how wave 3, all the way up here, and wave 4, it never even comes to the top of wave 1. It stops way up here. our entire last cycle for Ethereum couldn't be our wave 3 because our wave 4 is already below the top of our wave 1 of our 2018 bear market, right? So that can't be the case. What that means is that this entire move is a little bit different. What this means is that we're more undervalued than I initially thought. We have only completed wave 1 and wave 2. We finished wave 1, right? We finished our first impulse. That was the 2017 bull run. That was this bull run here from 40 cents to $1,400 and back to $90. That was our first wave 1. So our entire last cycle of 2019 to 2021, that was wave 1 of 3. And I'm going to show that to you guys right here. Let's pull it up right here. This entire last bull run was just this move right here. And what we're getting ready for is wave 3 and wave 5, which lines up absolutely perfectly with this chart I just showed you. If our entire last cycle is wave 1, that would make sense why we're getting ready for a big picture wave 3 like this and a big picture wave 5 like this. It would make perfect sense as to why that is happening, because our entire last cycle was only a subwave of wave 3, right? So this might be getting a little bit difficult for you guys to understand, but all I'm trying to basically help you guys make sense of all of this is the fact that we are really undervalued in the big picture, and we're more undervalued than I initially thought, because I thought that, let me delete this stuff, I thought that this was wave 1, this was wave 3, and then we'd go for a wave 5, right? And that would be the end of our cycle. That's not the case, because we've crossed all the way back down to the previous high of our last cycle, and even below that. We went all the way down to $850. That's way within the previous market structure of our last cycle. If this is a wave 3, our wave 4 can't do that. That's impossible inside of a wave 4 because it invalidates Elliott wave theory rules. So that means that our entire last cycle has to be a 1 wave. It has to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. And we're getting ready for a big picture wave 3. And it lines up perfectly with this chart I just showed you guys here. Let's remove this, and let's go back to this 2017-2016 cycle, because this is literally where we're at. It's this first leg up out of new all-time highs. The only difference is it's taking more time to do it. This was only a year that it took to do this leg up. Obviously, if we're looking at Ethereum, this was an entire 3-year bull cycle. So this is obviously going to be a little bit different. It's taking more time to create the same impulses. But I don't believe that anything has changed on the big picture. What is still happening is the same major sort of cycles that has happened in years past. It's just taking more time to create those expansive moves. I believe that our next cycle is going to be a wave 3 and a wave 4. And that's what our entire cycle is telling us. This move was just a 1 wave. 1, 2, and we're getting ready for a 3, 4, 5, right? And this is most likely where we're going to start the next cycle that I thought was going to be here, where I thought Ethereum was going to run to 20K like Bitcoin did. That'll most likely be our next cycle, where we see something like this, right? A big picture wave 3 that'll play out. This one has to be bigger, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be most likely the cycle that runs us upwards of 20K. I thought that that was going to be our last cycle here when we were up here at 5K. I thought that Ethereum was going to run to 20K. Obviously, I was wrong, and I was naive in thinking that we already had enough support to be able to send the prices up that high. I was naive in thinking that, in my opinion, what is ultimately happening is it just takes more money and more time to move the market in the same ways. That's the only difference here. The structure looks the same. This, at the end of the day, has to be a wave 1 of 3 because it's crossed back within our previous structure of our last cycle. That can't happen inside of a big picture wave 3 and wave 4. So the only thing that can happen here is that this entire last cycle from 2019 to 2021 and then back down to 2022, that has to be a 1 wave. Wave 1, wave 2, and we're getting ready for wave 3 and wave 4. If we're looking at Elliott wave, That's this move here, this big expansive move. And it would line up perfectly to why we look like we're following this 2017 alt cycle. Well, it lines up with our Elliott waves based off of Ethereum. It lines up with why we look the same based off this. And when we look at how much money is inside of the world, in my opinion, crypto is still really undervalued in the big picture. So I wanted to give you guys this video. It probably confused a lot of people when I got really deep into Elliott wave theory. And for that, I'm sorry for anybody that wasn't able to understand. At the end of the day, guys, the big thing you need to realize is that Ethereum is more undervalued than I thought it was. We are really going to be experiencing some big parabolic cycles heading into our next move. And it's going to be determined by this little impulse here. If we can actually hold support, this proves to be a little one-wave impulse, and we start rallying up, that's going to prove that this bear market bottom is in down here. That's going to be the beginning of our next cycle. And in my opinion, if we're going to see a run to 20K, our next cycle will be the one that does it. I was naive in thinking that over here in our last cycle. It just takes more money and more time to move the markets in the same way. But don't be naive in thinking that the markets aren't going to move the same way. Where this is literally the same as where this was all the way back down in Ethereum's first cycle. This first impulse is the same exact move as this. And the move that's coming is going to be that huge parabolic run up like we saw when Ethereum had that big move in 2016 and 2017. That huge move to $450, that's the same move that's technically going to be coming in our next cycle. It's just happening on a bigger picture market cycle, right? It's the same subwaves, it's just a bigger cycle that's playing out, right? So if you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server, download my free ebook, or sign up for my VIP course in Signals. If you guys want to follow the trades that I post, all of my expert picks going into this next cycle, all of that fun stuff, links are going to be in the description for that. I appreciate all of the support you guys give me. I really look forward to this next cycle because I want to see you guys make a ton of money in the process. The way that it's looking like the next cycle is going to be huge. And I really have been trying to kind of weigh all different outliers, all different scenarios. And at the end of the day, this is what I see is most likely being the most probable. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.